Right, moving on, in a move that had an overwhelming bipartisan support, the U.S. Senate has approved a $95 billion foreign aid package, which includes military support for Ukraine, Israel and Taiwan. The Senate approved by 79 to 18 four bills passed by the House of Representatives on Saturday. The four bills were combined into one package, which U.S. President Joe Biden will sign into law on Wednesday. The package has allotted $61 billion for Ukraine, $26 billion for Israel, and more than $8 billion to U.S. allies in the Indo-Pacific.
When Putin escalated his war against Ukraine, I told our colleagues that allies and adversaries alike would pay very close attention to America's response. When Iran-backed terrorists invaded the Jewish state on October 7th to slaughter innocent Israelis, I warned that the world would watch closely for signs that American leadership was actually weakening. For months, our friends have watched to see whether America still had the strength that won the Cold War or the resolve that has underpinned peace and prosperity literally for decades.
And DD India's Nick Harper has more from Washington, D.C.
Washington waking up this morning to something that has eluded the US Capitol for many months: the ability to fund allies in conflicts around the world. This legislation, a massive $95 billion aid package, has now passed the US Senate, having passed the US House of Representatives over the course of the weekend. The Senate voting overwhelmingly in favour, 79 votes to 18. So this means that a huge amount of funding will be going to Ukraine, about $61 billion worth, about $26 billion going to Israel, and about $8 billion going to Taiwan and allies in the Indo-Pacific, specifically with the aim of trying to counter China. And a fourth and final bill that's part of this involves the potential banning of the social media app TikTok. They're asking the Chinese owner ByteDance to sell the app in the next year or face its removal from US app stores. Now, we did see some opposition. Of course, there has been concern and opposition from hard-right Republicans for many months, really questioning why extra funding needs to go to Ukraine to fight a foreign conflict when Republicans argue there are more pressing domestic concerns, things like security at the US-Mexico border. And we saw some opposition from, in particular, a progressive independent Senator Bernie Sanders. He's pro-Palestinian. He questioned the need to send so much money to Israel in its fight there. And also, we have heard from President Biden. He put out a statement shortly after the Senate approved this. He said it was critical legislation, saying that it would make the US and the world more secure, that it would defend countries from what he called terrorists and tyrants. He has been urging lawmakers for many months to get this aid package passed, and we're expecting him to sign it into law in the coming hours. Nick Harper in Washington, reporting for DD India.